Hey everybody, and welcome to another review. This time is of the Mafex Justice League Cyborg. So, let me pull up my chair and then let's get started. So, as we know with the Mafex stuff, it's usually hit or miss for some people, or it's all bad for some people. But I will say this, Cyborg is exactly like his on-screen counterpart. He definitely has the body type for it. Mafex definitely crushed that. It's just some things I wish didn't translate so well. Anyway, let's get into it. We're going to go with the look of Cyborg. And I'm honestly going to say, yeah, he fundamentally looks exactly the way he did on screen. And it's crazy because the face sculpt, the entire body-wise is done really well. Even the shoulder pads are done really well to the point that it's just really well done. They are minor gripes, but I'll get into it as I go along with the figure. But yeah, gotta say this head sculpt is really, really nice though. Even now under my camera, just looks really nice. But anyway, let's get into the articulation. We're gonna jump straight into that. So as far as the head articulation goes, the head can go up, it can go down, can tilt left and right. It can actually rotate all the way around. Zero issues, and it just looks really good. So I'm a big fan of the head sculpt. It's actually really done really well. So you see here, looks good no matter what lighting I'm actually posing it in. The arms have a butterfly joint that you can actually rotate in and out. I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but as you can see, rotates up and down. You can rotate your arms 360 degrees without any issues. And the shoulder pads are actually on the arm and not on the torso. That kind of thing bugs me. Now, there's bicep swivel, which is done really well on this figure. As you can see, the proportions are kind of weird, but again, it's really movie accurate. So it's just one of those things that it may bother you. And it's almost like it's repairing itself in a Terminator sort of sense, because you can actually see the wiring. And what's really dope about this is that the wiring is really there. So it doesn't hinder the figure in any way. But what's really weird is that it seems like the joints are kind of reinforced with some sort of die cast, because you have to be careful when pushing your joints all the way in. It's one single joint, but it does rotate in pretty far, as you can see here. And mine's on the right arm is actually pretty stiff, but the left arm is okay. And there is a ball joint that actually rotates up and down. And let's see if it can rotate. And it does. So it can actually rotate as well. Just wanted to double check that. Pop that back on. So you have to be careful with the arm joints. It is reinforced though, and it's done really well. As far as the torso goes, now one of my gripes is that very loose in the legs. And the reason why that is, and I'll get to it when I get to the bottom, but the torso actually rotates really well at the upper part and the lower part as well. So you actually get a great amount of range. There's barely any ab crunch, but you get great range rotating left and right. So you don't have too much to worry about unless you're doing crouching poses, then you're pretty much screwed. Now with the legs. Now the thing about the legs is this figure actually stands really well. Now if you hold them from the bottom, it's just slightly shaky in the torso. Well, actually, nope, mine's got actually really loose. But it's just really loose here at the torso. What really bugs me is that on this figure, they reinforced his legs by giving him die-cast feet. And I'm guessing that's to balance the figure out to make sure he doesn't fall or to make sure something doesn't get wobbly. Look, I love die-cast, but I like it in the right place. For you to reinforce a figure where it's mostly thin in a lot of parts, sounds like a great idea until you realize when that die-cast causes everything to be wobbly. So this is the downfall of the figure for that. Oh, so I pulled down the torso because it has a drop-down leg method, but I pulled a little too hard. But he does have a drop-down leg method that you would use for the old SHF. There is a rotating thigh, and there is great articulation going both forward and backwards, and it's not too hindered by his metallic butt cheeks. The legs, now, this is another issue I had. I had to be really careful because I thought I was breaking the leg, but it's just a rotating joint, again, reinforced by die cast. And this is as far as the leg goes. The die cast foot actually has a simple ankle pivot, nothing too crazy, but it can rotate left and right, and it can tilt side to side. There's a toe pivot as well, but mine's barely moves. It's just all die cast down there. So when rotating it back, I have to be very careful and slowly do it because it's reinforced. So all in all, the body-wise, outside of the wobbliness and the really thin proportions of feeling like I'm going to break my legs when I turn them, overall, this is a really good figure. It has the articulation. It has the look. It definitely has a lot going for it. Let me just zoom that back in. Now, as far as accessories goes and what he comes with, Cyborg comes with an alternate head, which is pretty much him. I'm gonna say being concerned or excited. I'm really weirded out by this kind of face, but I'm guessing it's the action face. But I think they could have done a better job here. It's well done, but I just think they could have done better by aiming for a definitive emotion with him. But who knows? Now, for the part swapping of the arm, you pull down on the forearm and you'll see it releases a piece here. You can actually swap and give him a laser blade or a laser blaster hand. I'm not sure which one it is, but there's a blaster for the right arm, and my focus is all out of whack. So there's a blaster for the right arm, and there's also a blaster for the left arm. So let me see if we can just pop that in there. Make sure we get that right. Yeah, we'll assume it goes on this way. So as you can see, you have both a left and right blaster. One is blue, one is red. Both are really nice. They get the job done as far as screen accuracy for me. And I just wish he came with more than just these blasters. They're very simple. He doesn't have much than this. I guess you can use this one as a sword if you really wanted to, but it's just not, it's not hitting it for me. So, but we're going to leave this on real quick. We're going to talk about some other stuff. Then you also, actually I'm going to take this one off because to talk about the shield is strictly for the right arm. Shows it in the arm. There's going to be a little R somewhere there. So you can see for the shield, I'm going to be able to pop this in. Oop. Is it going to let me rotate it in? I'm having some trouble rotating. There we go. I found the piece to rotate it in. Now the shield is on a joint like this. Very simple. I really wish it wasn't so far off because as you can see, there's a big gap in between. And what you're supposed to do is supposed to fold the arm in to protect him with a shield. It does a really nice job. I just wish that it was a bit more reinforced because it comes out very easily. But the shield is actually very nice. It feels nice and lightweight enough and it's strong material. So let me pop that off, put back on another arm. Voila. All in all, I think the Cyborg was done really well by Mafex. I think it may be a little too late, but it was still really done. Then next up, we have a mother box. I can't remember which one is this from. I think this is from the warehouse scene. So there's this mother box. It's really nice. Has some weight to it too. Really solid. Now, Cyborg doesn't come with just, oh, I didn't give him any hands. They gave him some hands, so that's pretty cool. You have these relax hands that you get. You didn't do too much relaxing in the movie, but you still got some relaxed hands. They made him have very expressive hands. You have action hands, which are pretty dope. So if you want to grab stuff or grab bad guys or climb and stuff, there's hands for that. Then there are a little bit more relaxed but still expressive hands. More coupling so they can, I guess, hold the waist or just be like, oh, you know, what are you doing? So there's hands for that too. So all in all, you get a lot of accessories. You actually get something that's accurate to the screen. You actually get something really nice. So it's a little weird because my gripe is the looseness in the die cast. But you know what? It's actually pretty accurate. So I can't say I don't like it. It's doing its job, you know. I'm just not excited for it, but maybe that's because it was delayed so many times. But anyway, let's get into size comparisons. Let's put him a little further in the background. Let's see what we're going to compare him to first. What do I have around me? Oh, actually, I have a ton of stuff. So here we are. We're going to compare him to SH Figure Arts coming out of Amazon. So size-wise, Mafex definitely scales more for the American stuff. Here he is with an articulated Icons Ninja. And these guys pretty much scale well with just about everyone, but yeah. Then we're going to scale him next to a Marvel Legend. So Amazon, we're going to move you over because we know you're the short guy here. So this is with Marvel Legends Claw. Living Sound. So yeah, he scales really well with Marvel Legends. So we know that for a fact now. Next to Claw, he's about the same size, if not a tad bit taller. Next up, we're going to put him next to a Mezco Wonder Woman. See how she looks next to him. She looks pretty good. Pretty good. Then we're going to compare him to a Mezco Punisher. Looks pretty good. I think he scales very well with them. Next up, we're going to try an SHF Superman from Justice League. And he's actually a tad bit taller. I don't think he should be taller than Superman, but I guess as a cyborg, you technically can be half man, half robot. You know, I should say half apocalypse technology, half not. Here we are with a synthetic human. Scales pretty well. I mean, the Superman scales well if you want Cyborg to be one of those bigger characters. Here he is next to the Mafex Superman. So these guys are all from the same line, technically, from this point out, with the exception of probably going to be Aquaman. So Superman looks pretty good next to him. Superman's a little bigger. Then we have Mafex Flash. Yeah, so these guys are probably going to look really good next to each other if you go all Mafexed out. Next up, we're actually going to do SHF Wonder Woman. Because the Mafex Wonder Woman, I want to wait, see, we get her Justice League one. I want to compare her. So the Wonder Woman actually looks like a really good size. Then next up, let's do Tactical Suit Batman. Tactical Suit looks good as well. So size-wise, Cyborg actually fits in a very nice size. So let's take these guys away and still compare it to a few more things. Next up, we're going to do SHF Flash. It looks pretty good with him as well. So if you have the SHF one, he'll look pretty good too. And last but not least, Mezco Aquabro. So yeah, Cyborg actually scales well with all of these guys. Even if he looks a little bit smaller, a little bit bigger, I think if you do shots well enough, you'll be fine. If you want them to be static and you don't like the height, I would totally understand. But if you're going to do like action shots or have something when they're all in the pose together, I think it'll stand in well just fine. In the meantime, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found this informative. Most of all, I hope you do good, be good, drink your water. Later.